This story continues from day 1, manual. Day 2, Bling. They looked at each other, mouths open. Mike reached out. "Don't!" Emily blurted. Mike jumped again. His heart wasn't going to make it through clearing out this garage. "I just want to..." He guided his hand towards the replica, slowing as he felt heat coming from it. He rapidly tapped it twice, 3 times, not giving it enough time to burn him. He felt so masculine in front of his wife, taking the lead. Emily felt like she was watching a 4-year-old that was about to run away, screaming. "It's only warm," he said, in a tone he'd heard bomb defusal experts use. He picked it up, turning it in his hands. It was about the size of a large burger box, weighty, with sharp corners. It seemed to share every detail with its larger brother, only it looked brand new. "It must have had it hidden away in there somewhere," said Emily. "It's a toy or something, or some kind of marketing thing." "Marketing?" Mike fingered the miniature power switch on the new machine, and just as the original had, it quivered and hummed, only at a higher frequency. Mike shrieked, also at a higher frequency, and flung the hot potato away. Emily took in a sharp breath and released it as a sigh. The cube had struck the floor with a chink, taking a small chip out of the concrete before landing face down, covering its opening. It let out a final shudder and went quiet. "You've broken it," said Emily. "I've broken it? We don't even know what it is." She was always blaming him for everything, so his instinct was to immediately defend himself, even if he didn't always make sense. "Besides, we can just make another one." He was pleased with that. Emily moved to the little device, gingerly picking it up, finding it quite cool now, as well as... A tiny, perfect replica of the machine was sitting on the floor. A white and brown cuboid, no bigger than a playing dice, also face down. "No," breathed Mike. Emily put the now middle-sized box carefully on the floor to be able to pick up the baby between her thumb and forefinger. It too was pleasantly warm, and she strained her eyes to see the minuscule switches on its fascia, precisely the same as the 2 before. "It's some sort of Russian doll machine," said Mike, "just in reverse. Why would anyone need anything like this?" Emily felt the weight of the little thing in her hand. "I assume if I got a pin or something, I could make this one print an even smaller one." "They'd end up microscopic," said Mike. "Why would you need a machine that only makes itself?" she asked again. "Maybe it doesn't only do that," Mike mused. "What happens if you put something in there first?" He cast around the dusty garage, looking for something small enough that would fit inside the original machine. He stared at Emily. "Your watch." She looked down at her wrist, at the small face and silver band. Her mother's watch. "No! Christ!" Why had she married him? "You know about putting metal in a microwave, right?" "It's not a microwave." "I thought it ran on uranium." Mike opened his mouth to speak, then closed it. Emily spotted a filth-encrusted biro nestled where the floor met the brick wall. She picked it up and wiped it on her now grimy jeans. "There's metal," started Mike, until Emily stopped him with a look. She unscrewed the nibbed end, pulled out the ink tube, and was left with a somewhat transparent plastic shell. "Here you are," she said, as she held out the empty pen. As Mike took it, she added, "Be careful, please." Mike took a deep breath and knelt down to the first machine. He fed the pen in slowly, as if waiting for the box to chomp down on his arm, and then snatched his hand back as soon as he let go. He looked at Emily. "Might as well," she said. Mike pressed the green button. The machine flinched, then hummed and glowed. The couple stared at the plastic pen, the red light intensifying, then fading. Then nothing. The machine stood idle and dark. They continued to stare, expecting something else. Eventually, Mike looked at Emily, as though she would know what had happened. "Maybe it can really only do itself," she said. "Maybe we blocked it with the pen, like a failsafe or something." Carefully, she reached in to retrieve the piece of plastic. As she grabbed it, she happened to tilt it towards its open end, and out fell a tiny piece of clear plastic. Sitting on the floor of the machine's cavity was a miniature, pristinely clean, empty biro shell. Mike's tongue clicked as his mouth fell open. He bent down next to Emily and held the needle-like shard between his fingers. Rolling it from side to side, he could even feel the tiny ridges of its hexagonal profile. "We're making something from nothing, Em. What if we did put your watch in there? Or some gold coins? Even if they come out smaller, we could make infinite... anything." "We don't know that it's infinite," said Emily. "We don't know what we're doing. We're pressing buttons at random." "That's a good point," said Mike, his eyes drifting to one side. They snapped back to Emily. "We should press a different button next time. Come on, give me your watch." Almost in a daze, Emily felt herself unsnapping the band and laying her watch down in the machine's maw.